His girlfriend gave him a cute pet name that she uses everywhere, until he found out it started as her and her friends roasting him behind his back.
Alright, this story is called AITJ for refusing to keep wearing the nickname my girlfriend. Let me read this to you.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Let's hear it.
AITJ for refusing to keep wearing the nickname my girlfriend gave me after I found out where it came from. I am 30M and my girlfriend is 28F. We have been together for a little over a year. A few months in, she started calling me Museum as a pet name. I thought it was random but kind of cute.
Yo, Museum is such a random pet name though. Like, what does that even mean? That's the kind of thing that either has the sweetest story or the weirdest one.
Exactly, I'm already curious where this is going.
Right then, let's find out. When I asked why, she just said it fit me and smiled like it was an inside joke she would explain later. It stuck.
She won't tell him what it means, but she's weirdly attached to it. That's the energy of someone sitting on a secret that's either going to be adorable or absolutely devastating.
Ha, Emma, right? Like I'll explain later, babe, is never not suspicious.
Wait till you hear what happens next.
It fit me and she smiled like it was an inside joke she would explain later. Famous last words.
She uses it in texts, says it when she walks in the door, even got me a mug with Museum on it for Christmas. Her friends started using it too, which I found slightly embarrassing, but I went along with it because she seemed weirdly attached to it, and honestly, I figured it had some sweet story behind it.
Wait, she got him a mug with it on it? That's actually really cute. She clearly loves this nickname and how it makes her feel about him.
Yeah, but the way she's being mysterious about it. I'm getting a vibe.
And it gets worse.
So she's committed to this nickname. Got him merch and everything.
Which would be sweet if she hadn't been keeping a secret the whole time.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Last weekend, we were at a birthday thing with a bunch of her friends, and one of them had too much to drink and said, "I still can't believe you made Museum happen." Everybody laughed in that way where you instantly know there is context you do not have. I asked what that meant and my girlfriend tried to brush it off. But later, I kept pressing because the whole table went awkward.
Nothing says innocent pet name like everyone laughing because they know the secret you don't.
She finally admitted that early on, when she first brought me around them, one of her friends said I looked like the type of guy who would be fun for one date and then talk for 40 minutes about a chair. Apparently another friend said I had museum energy, meaning quiet, careful, nice to visit, but not exactly exciting. Instead of being offended on my behalf, my girlfriend thought it was hilarious and started calling me Museum ironically.
If you want to hear how this ends, make sure you follow FPM Stories so you don't miss the next one.
Yo, I cannot make this up. Museum energy means you're boring to look at but nice to visit? That's not a pet name, that's a roast that got a rebrand.
Oh my god, that's brutal. So the whole thing started as making fun of him.
Yeah, and he had no idea.
Nice to visit but quiet and careful, so she basically called him a museum and then was like, yeah, actually that's what I love about you now. That's the most backhanded redemption arc.
I'm screaming. Emma, it's literally it's not a roast anymore, it's a compliment defense, and honestly, it kind of works.
Alright, so then.
Here's the thing. She did transform it into something genuine. But he has every right to feel betrayed that it started as a joke at his expense. The question is whether she gets credit for the transformation or if the origin story is too damaging.
Yeah, and he just lived a whole year not knowing he was the punchline.
Okay, so get this.
Nice to visit is just a fancy way of saying your furniture.
Over time, it stopped being ironic for her and became affectionate, which she says should be the part one focus on. But I cannot get past the fact that this whole pet name I have been wearing around like an idiot started as her and her friends lightly roasting me behind my back.
But she's not wrong that it become affectionate over time. You can't just pretend the last year didn't happen because the origin story was mean.
Nah, but the damage is done now. You can't unhear that origin story.
That's the argument right there.
He's saying he feels like an idiot for wearing around a nickname that was a roast.
And that's valid because intention matters, but so does the fact that she clearly loves him now.
Okay, so get this. She keeps saying it was at the very beginning, before she knew me well, and that if anything it is romantic because the joke turned into fondness. I told her I do not want to be called that anymore, and I do not want her friends calling me that either.
So her defense is basically, yes, we roasted you, but now the roast is cooked with love. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I see why he's not buying it.
Ha. Eric, she really said, the joke evolved into fondness, like that erases the 6 months of her and her friends laughing about how boring he looks.
Now this is where it gets interesting.
I think he's actually not being too stiff about this. She can say, it became affectionate all day, but the core issue is she lied by omission for a year. That's trust stuff, not just a nickname thing.
Exactly, and his comparison about if he did it to her is dead-on accurate.
It gets worse. Now she says I am ruining something that had become genuinely loving because I am choosing the worst possible interpretation. Maybe I am being too stiff about it, but I feel like if I had introduced her to my friends with some cute nickname that secretly meant pretty but kind of dull, I would get absolutely shredded for it.
He's making a really solid point though. If he had introduced her with some backhanded nickname and never told her, she'd be pissed.
Fair, but his comparison isn't quite the same because she's telling him now and trying to make it right.
Now it's about whether that fixes it.
She really said, let's not focus on the roast, focus on the hug that came after. But he has to live with knowing he got roasted first.
AITJ for telling her the nickname is dead, and I do not want to hear it again.
Not the jerk. She lied to him for a year, and no matter how affectionate the nickname became, he has the right to not want to be called something that started as his friends mocking him. She can't just reframe deception as romantic growth, he needs the option to opt out.
He's not wrong, but it's more complicated than that. She clearly does love him and the nickname became genuine. But she should have told him sooner, and she can't be mad that learning the truth made him want out. That's on her. Follow FPM Stories. We post every single day. Drop your verdict in the comments.
Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.